Small World Radio worldwide online. Freak Radio 101.3, Santa Cruz. KKRN 88.5, Bella Vista. Welcome to Small World Radio. This is Rising Moon. I'm in the Small World van and we're on our way to save the world. Today we're joining forces with Native American tribes in Northern California. First, we're going to join Radley Davis and members of the Pitt River Nation as they fight to stop fracking in the sacred highlands called Medicine Lake.
It's a small world. It's a small world. It's all one. It's a small world. We're living in one small world. It's a small world. It's all one. It's a small world. We're living in one small world. It's a small world.
What will it be like when we tell a story about our mountains and our springs and they're no longer there? What will that mean to the future of not just our people, but to all people? That's what the federal government and these corporations do not understand. When you take away something forever for profit, they don't understand this. It's so simple. Our existence, we should not have to prove. No one should have to prove who you are. And that's, we can prove the United States. We know exactly when they got here. It's an exact date, the existence. But that gets clouded. Can't hear, can't see, can't speak. All these things that we all are subject to in the school systems and the government, and it clouds even tribal leaders. It clouds everyone. Many times pits us against one another or prevents us to see the truth. Still, we must rise above and not forget what our leaders and our elders have passed down to us.
I've come here a lot of times not feeling very well, and all I do is walk out here and offer my prayers. And every time I come back, I'm walking on 2 feet and I feel good. And I believe in this medicine that's here. This is a part of us. This belongs to all people once you get to know what the spiritual part of life is all about.
Our current plans, if we get approvals, will be to start our drilling operation on or about June 1.
A drilling rig runs full tilt 24 hours a day.
The land itself is spiritual, just like the sky. And then there's certain places in the country that are little special places that you can actually receive the Spirit yourself.
It tells us that the depositional effects on vegetation would primarily occur from air emissions from the plant operations. They say it would primarily be boron, mercury, and arsenic.
We will also be sampling fish out of Medicine Lake on an ongoing basis to make sure that there's no contaminants going into the lake that are affecting the fish that could build up into the food cycle. For example, bald eagles would eat the fish. Bald eagles would be affected, which is primarily a mercury issue.
We can go to a place like the Medicine Lake Highlands and obtain natural foods that are unadulterated, whose genetic integrity is still there. We have that right. We have the right to clean air and pure water and pure foods and pure medicines.
If we have an earthquake and that moves that way, and that aquifer gets messed up, there is no way to shut that baby off down home.
This is not a low-risk geothermal development like the geysers or like Long Valley Caldera. The Medicine Lake Highlands have a tremendous value to all of California downstream from it. The water from the Medicine Lake Highlands from Siskiyou County is vital to San Diego County. You hold the state of California in your hands. You are not making decisions about Siskiyou County. You're making decisions about the state of California. The Pitt River flows into the California aqueduct system and flows clear to San Diego County.
We felt that there were severe social, cultural, environmental, and historical impacts of the power plants, and that you really couldn't by any stretch of the imagination call that green energy.
Who's going to clean up the mess? Is it going to end up being the Siskiyou County taxpayers?
All 134,000 acres have leases on them. This is a very large development.
Alpine is growing, and we're going to have 40,000 megawatts in 4 years. So we do have an interest in growing and growing rapidly.
Here's a fact for you. Making electricity causes more air pollution than any other industry.
Just imagine how many jobs we will create if we retrofit all of the homes, businesses, industries in Siskiyou County with solar design, with energy efficient technologies. We'll create 100 times more jobs than would be created with the construction and continued operation of the geothermal plant.
Now, what the government should be doing, they should be giving you and me a way to borrow the money at low or no interest from the state to put the solar panels on our roof. We could do that right now, and we could have that online this summer.
We've got a lot of wind. They want to have some kind of a energy. Why don't they go to a wind deal for energy instead of digging out sacred places? There's a lot of wind, free wind around. But this is a sacred place for Native American of all tribes.
Surely we are not so desperate for energy that we must chop down our cathedrals for firewood.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion to deny the appeal carries. Appeal is denied.
All the paved roads are there, and there was so much noise. Then where would the eagle be? Gone. Where would the four-leggeds be? Most of them gone.
Touch the hearts of the people that have wrong ideas about the land. Touch their hearts and let them know that if they keep going on and on and on like this with the land all over this world, man will destroy man.
So I'd like to ask Mark LeBeau if he would come up and speak to us.
My name is Mark LeBeau, and I'm a citizen of the Pitt River Nation from northeastern California on my mother's side. Born and raised up in that area. I'm a part of the Pitt River Nation. My people have been in northeastern California since the beginning of time. If you look at Western migration theory, they say, oh, native people traveled from Asia about 10,000 years ago. It's documented now. There are native villages throughout the Americas going back 30,000 years, and there's scientific carbon dating that verifies that analysis. So, I'm very adamant that in fact Pit River people were created in northeastern California to take care of our lands up there, to steward and be very respectful in that stewardship of Yet Aku, Mount Shasta, Satitla, Medicine Lake, Hadatse Ish, the heart of the people. And today, it's clear we need help. And it's clear that there are lots of great people who are dedicated to a similar cause, to protect the natural environment. Last remaining strongholds of pure, clean water. In the Mount Shasta region, the aquifers are pure. It's one of the few remaining places in North America where you can dive into the sacred springs and drink the water with no concerns in terms of impact to health as a result of ingestion of that water. If Calpine Energy Corporation is allowed to implement its energy development projects in Medicine Lake, all of that could go away. If the federal government supports Calpine in that effort, not only is Calpine responsible for that destruction of our region, but the federal government is as well. I want to thank all of the advocates who stand together, both tribal and non-tribal, to protect that region, Mount Shasta, Medicine Lake. We have environmental coalitions. We have the full force and support of the Stanford Environmental Law Association. And those have historically been two of the main pillars in this movement, to protect the natural environment in northeastern California. And on behalf of my family, on behalf of my band, where I come from as a part of Pit River, I want to thank you. Particularly, I want to thank Deborah for her guidance through the years. Key leading environmental expert in the U.S. on these types of issues, and she's here this morning, and she's standing with us, and she's joined and empowered through the efforts of additional upcoming lawyers who are going to continue this effort. And so that's really a key component to the work that we're all doing collectively in this moral and ethical, positive obligation to protect the health and well-being of all of our communities into the future. I also want to thank Michelle Berdichevsky through the Environmental Grassroots Coalition for her efforts and the stakeholders that are part of that coalition as well. Certainly, the work of that organization has been instrumental in helping to keep the issue alive, keep these multiple lawsuits moving forward. The third pillar in this effort is really the tribal people, through their sovereign autonomy, through their rights that have not been relinquished by the federal government nor the state of California. The indigenous people who were placed in northeastern California since the beginning of time are still there. Some of those folks are here today. And They continue to fulfill their traditional duties and responsibilities as handed down since the beginning of time. And that's very important, because in the old days, before the inception of the state of California, before the formation of the federal administration, before the development of the U.S. Constitution, Pit River people were in northeastern California taking care of Medicine Lake, taking care of Mount Shasta, and all the other places in that region. They have not relinquished their rights nor their authorities to continue to be the stewards of that region. And so this issue not only rises above the authority of the state government, the federal government, but clearly it places the issue within the international legal arena. Pit River Tribe, Native advocates, working in conjunction with the International Indian Treaty Council and many other tribally based organizations, have taken this issue about what the state of California and what Calpine is trying to do in northeastern California directly into the middle of the United Nations. We've gone there repeatedly. Earlier this summer, we convened a meeting at a sacred falls in the heart of Pit River country. And we met there and we invited some of the key leading tribal advocates to come to the heart of Pit River. And let's talk about what's going on with regards to environmental impact, negative impact to Medicine Lake. We also talked about what's going on in many other tribal communities across this country. And based upon that information, the knowledge expressed, and the recommendations that came out of that conference, a resolution was developed. And that resolution has been taken to the United Nations as well. And so the struggle continues, and we are empowered by each other, those that are here today and those that could not be here. You know, we are gathered just a few of us in this moment in time, but I think, as we all know, you know, back in our homes, back in our communities, you know, we can call up the troops. We can call up advocates to come and demonstrate. We proved that in San Jose, California. We went to the Calpine building, and there was about 200 of us gathered there from all walks of life. And in a heartbeat, the people involved in that protest and demonstration took guidance from the leaders, and we went into Calpine's building and we served them an eviction notice. And the eviction notice was eliminating Calpine from northeastern California, from the Medicine Lake Highlands region. And that's just flexing our collective muscles a little bit. We're flexing our muscles through legal avenues, through the court systems. There are many other mechanisms that we can utilize to protect native sacred places. And there's a time and a place for everything. And that's one of the things that, growing up, my mother taught me, Beverly LeBeau. As I was growing up, she said, "Mark, there's a time and a place for everything. You have to learn how to talk to people in a language that they understand." Sometimes the state and the feds understand a legal document submitted to their offices or to their courts. You know, sometimes people understand a spanking. So there's a lot of opportunities there for us to flex our collective and individual muscles on this type of issue. And so, you know, as we stand here today, know that we are empowered. And we are especially empowered through the observance and watchful eyes of our ancestors. You know, all of our ancestors, irregardless of the type of community that we originate from, whether we're from a tribal family, whether we're from a family historically based in Europe, all of our collective ancestors want the best for us. They all want us to be successful. They all want us to have children and have our children have children and be healthy into the future. The only way to do that, folks, is to clean up the environment. It's a key component of being healthy into the future. And so in that regard, you know, we stand together today, shoulder to shoulder, but also in a spiritual way through the power of all of our ancestors that are backing us and supporting us and motivating us in ways that we can identify and in ways that we may not even know yet. So with that, I'll close my remarks with a quick song. It's a Pit River song up by Mount Shasta Way. Offer in a good way.
This is like a church to us.
It's like going to church and kneeling down there and all that and praying.
Medicine Lake Highlands area is like a doorway for the Creator and the spirits to teach these people. It's been going on since the beginning of time. My grandfather, as a medicine man, used Medicine Lake in the Highlands area for training to be a medicine man. The project itself will destroy the future use of the future medicine people coming up in the Northern California area. The Medicine Lake Highland area was also not just used for Northern California Indians for medicine men training or medicine women. They had come as far away as Wyoming and Montana, North and South Dakota. And Medicine Lake Highland area is tied in with Mount Shasta, which is a very significant spiritual place. Medicine Lake is very significant for the fact that the spirit that lives within the lake helps medicine people to grow spiritually, physically.
The events that you just mentioned, in my mind, can still continue whether this was here or not. This, because the obsidian will still be there, you can still do your ceremonies.
In that aspect, yes, but as the prayers and using the lake itself, the disturbance of the project will have a direct effect on our way of communing with the spirits that are there.
The church, you see, we don't have walls in our church. I think that's, I don't want to paraphrase it. We don't have walls, it's everywhere. It's wherever you look, wherever you feel, wherever you see. something humbug is available. If we happen to pollute this other place, then I'm asking.
Medicine Lake is a prayer place. And when we talk about noise, there will be some noise there if the project goes through. It would be like you going downtown LA and trying to pray, you know, the four corners there's someplace where all the screaming.
It is very true that, you know, educating people and changing their mind. One of our elders, he's passed on now, but one of the things that he left us was fix the mind. He would say, fix the mind of our white brothers and sisters. But it means also fixing everyone's mind to be a person, to be people. Is, in our language in Pit River, is people. Doesn't mean just the people up where we're at, it means all people. And so his teaching is that we have to treat each other equally. All people. We have to fix the mind of the people who got lost and forgot who they are, and no longer have that path to see, to have that thought about why it's important, you know, to respect this water, or respect the mountain, or respect any part of the earth. You know, they're lost. So in today's world, we respect what we're faced with and dealing with, technology. We know that today, in less than an hour or so, we're going to go down the road here at the Sierra Club, and you are all welcome. And we encourage you to come join us. And we will put together and try to take care of everybody that's there in a good way, and get some energy in us, and take advantage of the time and the opportunity to be with one another, and lay down some thoughts about what we can all do together. And we'll continue that kind of meeting as we go home about what we're going to do together, addressing the Department of Interior and putting pressure on them so that they can tell the Bureau of Land Management to just end this. They can do that right now. I'd like Mickey Gimmel to come up and speak.
Lucius, grandfather, here we are before you. We're small and we are weak. Ask that you look down upon us and bless us. Ask that you give us guidance. Ask that you open the hearts of people in these courtrooms so they can hear our cry. Oh. I just wanted to express the importance of what Medicine Lake is. Medicine Lake is a part of the future of our people, and if we allow them, Calpine Corporation, federal government, to come in, destroy Medicine Lake Highlands, we could be losing the future of our people. The United States government has literally destroyed our people. They've committed cultural genocide against our people, and it hasn't ended. They take away Medicine Lake, they can take away a future for us. We're trying to rebuild our people, bring back our culture. Certain things cannot be replaced. That's why it's important that we stop them. We can bring back other things, but we can't bring back Medicine Lake if they destroy it. So it's important that people realize that we cannot lose. We also have to remain grounded in the way that we fight this. We can't just fight it in the courtroom. We have to fight it spiritually. They cannot beat us spiritually. And we have to remember that that's the center of our fight. It may be decided in the courtroom, but we have to stay grounded and remember who we are. Remember what we're fighting for. We never sold Medicine Lake. We never sold any of our land. They cannot sell our land. Sometimes I think that They stretch it out on purpose. They just try and wear us down, make people forget what's going on. Not to mention they keep us native people in the dark, but they keep the rest of society in the dark. And they do things behind closed doors with nobody knowing. But they're trying to open up development in all of Northern California. And it shouldn't just be us Pit Rivers or people in the north trying to stop them. We're fighting for our people, but we're fighting for a future of all people. This is going to have a ripple effect that will affect all of California and other states. So it's important that we work together with other people and that we spread the word. United States government, state or federal, they don't listen to people just sitting there. We have to stand up. We have to organize against them. We have to make noise, just like being here today. But we can't stop that. And anybody that wants to stand with them and go along with them, we have to protest them. We gotta bring it to the forefront. The people in Northern California don't even know that they're trying to frack up there. Nobody knows that. Just these courtrooms and a small few group of people. But we have to spread that word and let everybody know what they're trying to do. We got to gain the support of the people. I just wanted to, that's about all I had to say, but express that it's important that we start moving faster. That whether there's a court case tomorrow, that we start protesting. Like today, we organize and talk about what we do in the future, but we need to start letting people know now and start gaining momentum, because we don't want to wait for them to decide and be organized that day, because it'll be too late. We have to gain the support now to shut them down. There should be no continued 5 years down the road. There should be no loophole.
The Medicine Lake Highlands was formed millions of years ago by a shield volcano. It is older and larger than its nearby brother, Mount Shasta. Many people today believe that the greatest value of the Medicine Lake Highlands lies in its natural beauty as a sacred spiritual site for Native Americans and as a recreational haven for thousands of people a year. However, there are developers and politicians who would like to see this area transformed into a geothermal industrial park. If we industrialize the places we go to recover from the ills of industrial living, then where will we go? The Medicine Lake Highlands is still wild. The geothermal mining companies haven't converted it to an industrial park yet. We need to convince government officials that the Medicine Lake Highlands is of more value in its natural state than as a toxic sump pond that emits electricity and is crisscrossed with pipelines, power lines, and roads. With your help, this beautiful wild place may stay that way. For our grandchildren's grandchildren, help us keep the Medicine Lake Highlands wild.
We had people here at sunrise this morning We had Pit River family here at sunrise, greeting the sun and praying and waiting and dealing with the folks here, wondering what's going to happen. And they were here and they're still here, and that is honorable and respectful, and it shows us how much our people care. And we acknowledge that here. I want to see if Consuelo would like to speak on behalf of her family.
My name is Consuelo Vargas. We just wanted to come here to support our people. We have a lot of sacred sites. Many indigenous people. We all have sacred sites to come into unity with our people to support our sacred sites and our Medicine Lake. That's mainly about it. We came, we were here, we did prayers. We had to kind of deal with the police and the security people, but we dealt with them and, just stayed out here and did prayer walks up and down this area, saging the area off. Sage is important to our people. I would like my mom to speak a little bit. She might not want to, but I would like to.
It helped me. I've been going to the Medicine Lake about 5 years ago. I was going to get on dialysis, and I went in the lake, and I was safe for 5 years, and then I didn't go a couple of years, and then I have to go on dialysis now. But I think if I was going there like ritual, like I usually did, I wouldn't have to be on dialysis. When I was up there and I got on dialysis, my ancestors came to me in my dream there and said, "You didn't trust us what our lake can do, what our medicine can do." And I was talking to them in my sleep, and he goes, "Well, you shouldn't have done that. You should have came back, went in the lake, and would have helped you, but I guess you didn't have trust in me." It's not the trust that I didn't have in the lake. It was my kids. They were saying, "Oh, Mom, you're going to die if you don't get on it. You're going to do this." So I had to listen to them. It wasn't me. It was my kids. So then I woke up, and then that's my experience of the lake. Because, it helps you. Because it helped me a lot of times. I went, my leg's hurting, went in the lake, came and drank a little water, and I was good. I could walk to the camp and get my own food. Sometimes I couldn't walk there, but sometimes I could. But that helped me a lot. So I went this past time, and I can't go up there no more because I have breathing problems now. Had to go to emergency, so I'm feeling bad, but it's making room for others to go up there to save the place for all our people, all our grandkids and for our families and all that. It's a good place, something there for us, and that's what we gotta think about to save for all of our people, all the other people that need medicine. Thank you.
My name is Morningstar Gali. I'm a member of the Ajamawi Band of the Pit River Nation. I work for the Pit River Tribe, but I'm here today on a volunteer basis for a number of years. I've been working as a volunteer to help protect the efforts of this struggle for the Medicine Lake Highlands. I want to thank Louise. Thank you to Louise and Radley, Mark and Mickey. I want to thank all of you that came out here today and made those sacrifices to be here. This is what we need. We need all of your support. We need everybody to come together and do what we can. It's going to take everyone. The struggle to protect Medicine Lake is the same struggle to protect Rattlesnake Island, the same struggle to protect the San Francisco Peaks, Bear Butte, for all of our sacred places, because it's a bigger fight that we're fighting. We're fighting against the U.S. government. We're witnessing backhand deals here with BLM. We're at the local level. BLM supports our efforts to protect Medicine Lake, but they're getting orders from higher up that say, that those decisions must be overturned. So this is a struggle to protect our water, to protect our sacred ways, our way of life. You have anything to say?
No.
So again, just thank you for all of you being here, and we need to continue to get that message out. So thank you.
This is Rising Moon, and next you'll be listening to Willard Rhodes. He was a Pit River medicine man.
When the Creator came, he built Mount Shasta, and he lived there. Medicine Lake, he put there, that was his bathtub. And he said when anybody is not feeling good, when anybody is sick or needs help, they can go there and heal themselves by their own mind. So he gave them instructions how to do it, what to do. And that's to go there, don't think about anything else but just yourself. Go in there, don't take your bath. Go out, don't look back after you go out. And go home. And leave it there. You leave your sickness there, you leave your troubles there. A crippled woman came from Germany. She said she's been all over trying to find something that could heal her, to make her feel right. She was crippled in her hips somehow. She said she'd been to doctors, but they couldn't do nothing for her. And she'd heard that the Indians, some of them could do wonders. So she came and she said, I wonder if you could help me. I said, you're looking in the wrong place. I said, I can't help you, but I can tell you what to do. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe. I said, it's up to you if you want to be helped. It's in your own mind. So I sent her up to the Medicine Lake. I told her to think about her troubles and to give herself to the other side. And when she came back, she wasn't crippled. And her dog wasn't crippled. She said when she got there and opened the car door, her dog went right out into the lake. Never done that before. The lake itself used to be cold year-round. I went up there last winter with snow on the ground, but the lake was warm. And they said in their drillings that they would not hurt anything, you know. Well, they must have drilled down through one of the streams that feed that lake, because it has to be fed from the mountains. So if they drill down through the streams, it's bound to heat it up. That stuff is hot. Try to tell people what's happening, but people don't listen. People's mind are blocked by greed.
Well, I'm Michelle Berdichevsky, and I'm with the Mount Shasta Bi-Regional Ecology Center. And for the past 25 years, we've worked closely with the Pit River tribe, actually all 5 tribes surrounding our Mount Shasta Medicine Lake area. And it's been an honor to work and to feel common cause with the native peoples of this land. Can you all hear me okay over the cars? And
Barely.
I don't have a real loud voice like Radley or Mark, but I'll try. Oh, come closer. Okay. It's been an honor to work with the native peoples of this land because this feeling of rightness, of how to act with the land, goes so far back with them. They talk about the original sacred instructions for how to live on this earth. And that always resonated with us. And it's something that all of humanity really, we're right up against that lesson. If we don't learn that lesson, we're not going to be able to continue. So I want to affirm that many of us are learning that lesson. We're learning the lesson of respect for the land, respect for the original people, respect for the waters, respect for the air, all the gifts that we've been given that sustain all of life. And we have to understand that that is a high priority, that we can't just have profit and have desires met without first addressing that priority. So we're here to remind the government and the laws and work with our wonderful attorneys at Stanford to make sure that that priority is heard, because it's really about all of our survival and about having a meaningful life on earth rather than just consuming. So we've been working a lot with Medicine Lake Aquifer, finding out about how this huge volcano, 850 square miles, how it carries so much water that comes through the Fall River Springs, largest spring system in the whole state, and brings water all the way down to the southern part of the state, from the north to the south. So we have some information on the waters, and that's been our focus lately. We worked very closely with the tribes on getting the whole Medicine Lake caldera established as a traditional cultural district with the National Register of Historic Places. And there's a cultural management plan that the tribes worked on that the Forest Service has completed, and it's now an official management plan. And that management plan does not include geothermal industrial development, and it does not include fracking.
You could go over across there and you can see where the archaeological evidence shows that this was a traditional gathering area. And look over there, a traditional gathering area. You know, just the name of this place, you know, people say, oh, it's Medicine Lake, but that's not our name for it. It has nothing that refers to medicine in that sense. It's Satit, which is an obsidian knife. So the full name is Satitla, Obsidian Knife Lake, because this is where our people came to get the obsidian over Glass Mountain and Grasshopper Flat, in areas where you have nice quality obsidian, and they'd come over here to work the obsidian, not just here but in other areas too, and to trade and to meet with the Modoc people or the Shasta people and to get together. You came here and you put away your warfare. You might have an argument, or your tribe might be at war with the Modocs or Klamaths or whoever. But when you came here, you had to put all that away. You had to take that out completely out of your heart, because you're standing before the Creator when you're here. That's who you're here for, so that you have that complete connection with the Creator. So that's the vision, is to return to that. And it's not so much a return, but to go forward. To go forward to that, because that's what we need. And, you know, not just our people, but all people.
This will really be related to going back about how did the government and anybody else get a deed and title to our land. The case is really similar. We're going to hear really similar arguments and saying about how is that your land, because it's not your land. And they're going to tell us they got a deed to the land, and we're going to ask them, how'd you get that deed? They'll produce a court or some law, probably quote some case like the Cherokee cases that went to the federal government to help establish the taking of our land, among many other cases. This is similar. We're dealing with a corporation that's no different than any other corporation that's in it for for money, it's very greedy. And they're not thinking about what will be lost. And it would be appropriate to go ahead and close with a prayer in a good way. And I'll close with the song. And what this song means, it means making a new world, fixing the world. Satipla is a place in one of our stories when death happened. They took the bones of this death and put them in the lake and brought them back to life. It is one of the powers. If you believe, it will happen. It's a long story, but this song goes to that story. And one of our elders was taught this from her mother, and her mother was taught from it from her mother and grandfather, and so on. And it means, there's more to it than that, but it means a lot about fixing the world, making a world. Can you imagine, use your own imagination of making a world? And so that's what this is. When the squirrel, he twirled his cane in the fire, he brought back life. And this was only after he had left, because the coyote, Jamo, said he was better. And he convinced all the people that his fire is better. His way of doing things is better. And so the squirrel and the people began to listen to him. And they began to forget about the ways, those old ways that still apply to this day. As was mentioned, original instructions. They have not changed. And these kinds of stories are part of our life. I will sing the song. And then we'll go. Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie. Tochina, 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 Ganachi Winnie. Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie. Tochina, 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 Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie. Tochina, 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 Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie, Ganachi Winnie. Tochina, 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 Ganachi Winnie. Ho, ho, ha.
In the late afternoon, we left the capital and headed west by northwest for 7 hours until we reached Yurok country. It was here near the town of Trinidad where Yurok traditional Indians and tree sitters from Earth First have taken a stand.
I'm up in we call it a sky net, but it's like just pretty much a net that we made out of rope and P-cord, and it's in between the branches and on the trunk, and it's pretty much like a nest, like a hammock, and there's like a stove.
At the top of the tree is stove?
Yeah, there's a stove, a propane stove, and you're like in tarps, and like surrounded in tarps, and you can lift it up so you can see everything, and like lift them down if it's raining or put them down. And there's like a little pee station, and You have like everything hanging up on like safety lines and around branches, and your shoes are like hanging over the branches and stuff. And
So you're tied in a real good way.
oh yeah, you're hooked in at 2 points at all times, even when you're sleeping. You have your harness on, your sleeping bag, and you just like have your lobster claws coming out the top of your sleeping bag. So you're always in, and it's really comfy. And it's like sleeping on a cloud. And if you have like a little sway, it's kind of cool. But last night, because you can get motion sickness actually, so I kind of just like prayed, asked Creator that He'd take it easy, and like I prayed for calm winds, and like not even 5 minutes later, the wind stopped all night, and there was no wind at all.
Nena Owaga is a descendant of the Yurok village of Tsurai.
We're here at Tsurai, which is the English word would be Trinidad, and the word Tsurai means high, the high place, and of course it's all Yurok territory. The Tsurai people were not separate from Yurok; they were all Yuroks, and the separation only came when the casino was introduced, and then so they were told that you can either give up your birthright, as being a Yurok, and receive, casino monies, or if you keep your birthright, well, you won't receive any casino monies, and but you'll still retain your birthright as being a Yurok. So that's how the split came, and that was like really recent. That was like in the 1980s, I think. Not too sure about that, but anyway, yes, the word Tsurai means the high place, and that is Tsurai Head right there, that big rock behind you back there. That's the Trinidad Head, which would be Tsurai, and that's the high place right there, and that is men's medicine for the medicine man to go to. Now the three rocks that were up here, Potato Rock and Strawberry Rock, and those were for the women's ceremony. So when the jump dance would come, or the white deerskin, that was done over here, the other place that I was going to show you, the Homan, which is called the Homan, residence where they live. Well, their house is built on a shell mound that's one of the oldest, that the geologist said that it was like tens of thousands of years old, and it was just where they had that was where they would throw their shells from feasting, after the ceremony, and all that. So that's what his house is built on.
Starry night?
It was pretty bright. The moon was really super bright, and you look down, it's like really dark down here, and you can't really see anything. But when you're up there, you can see like the treetops and like the ocean. And
in the dark, you can see the ocean?
Yeah, the moon, if the light's reflecting, it glitters, like legitimately, like shimmers and like sparkles. It's crazy. We were looking at it last night, and neither of us have seen anything like that.
Wow.
It was really cool.
So this is Yurok forest. It's precious, isn't it? It's sacred.
Yes, it's very sacred to Yurok. Strawberry Rock as well. It's a sacred ceremonial site for Native American female youth that were going into age of like puberty and coming of age and ceremony.
Yeah, those caves that are down there at Moonstone no one is to enter them, because those are ceremonial